Hello and welcome to the 2016 British Wheelchair Basketball Women's League All-Star Game. We're back once again here at the Nottingham Wildcat Arena for a wonderful exhibition of wheelchair basketball as once more East meets West. It was fantastic last year and it's set to be bigger and better than ever before. Ain't that right, Jude?
It certainly is, Stephen, but before we get into the action, let's meet our two coaches.
Okay, so with Miles, head coach of Team West, how much are you excited for this All-Star Game?
Well, I was a part of it last year, and the atmosphere of the game itself, the level of competition was outstanding, so I expect nothing less this year.
I can't begin to tell you how privileged and honoured I am to be here as head coach this year. What an achievement for all our girls out there, and I have to say, this game is now a celebration of their achievements and showcasing their absolute skill, and well, what a delight it is to be here.
It was such a success last year. How great is it to end the Women's League season with such a showpiece event?
Last year it was a sellout, this year it's going to be exactly the same. There's nothing quite like this event. As we all know, All-Star Games are just the pinnacle of everyone's career. Some of these girls are absolutely excited beyond measure, and I'm so proud to be a part of that. And it's a great way to end the Women's League as well, really good.
Well, it's appropriate. These girls/women, they work hard, and they work hard with their club teams. GB athletes work hard within, the centralized programming. So I think it's just, it's the product of a lot of hard work.
And in terms of the match itself, who should we look out for on your team? What are you expecting from the game?
Well, the West, last year's MVP, Joy Hazelton, will have the ball in her hands a lot, making decisions. Amy Conroy, Jude Hamer of GB also. But, there's a nice crop of young, exciting player. Mo Hastings stepping up, having her first All-Star game. Someone like Rosie having her first All-Star game. Those are moments that are defined within the game, so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Do you know what? We've got a tough job ahead of us because we've got a really heavily weighted GB squad out there, but my girls are all really passionate. We've got a lot of skill, style, a lot of flair. I'm asking for the girls to show their character this weekend so that we can actually show the crowd what we're all made of. So I'm hoping we're going to see some real razzle-dazzle out there. We're going to rock the place.
Just as a final question, how would you compare the women's game now as a coach to when you were a player?
I think it's difficult. It's difficult to make comparisons like that because everybody works incredibly hard. You're a pro athlete in that stage of your life. You're a pro athlete in this stage of your life. I think there's an incredible wealth of talent out there. It's great to see the women's game improving as it is. This league has changed everything exponentially. The growth of these people have been amazing. The growth of the women's game in general with our development camps and everything that's been going on has been fantastic, and it's just wonderful to see that and see the progression into our Great Britain squads out there as well.
And as GB coach, I wanted to ask you how preparations are going for Rio. It's been a wonderful Women's League season. I'm sure you've kept a keen eye on how it's been going. How are preparations going?
Yeah, of course we do. The Women's League's such a great event. It really lets us kind of keep tabs on our centralized athletes and also, our GB program athletes. And then what I'm really doing here this weekend is looking to invite our Futures Camp next October post-Rio. So I'm wearing a lot of different hats. We're ready to go. We practice hard every day.
Good to hear. Best of luck with the All-Star Game.
All right, thank you.
The coaches have predicted a great game and we're hoping for one too.
Yeah, the action shouldn't disappoint. It's just a minute away. But first, let's meet the teams. For Team West, the Vixens' Leanna Adams is joined by her teammate Amy Conroy, with the Angels' Sue Dudley next up before Vixens skipper Claire Griffiths. Last year's MVP Joy Hazelden plays once again, as does her sister, the Blackhawks' Miriam Hazelden. Joy's CWBA teammate Jude Hamer is next up, while Division 3 representation comes in the form of the Spitfires' Mo Hastings. Gemma Lumsden is the second Angel in the squad, with GB's Charlotte Moore completing the CWBA contingent. Laurie Williams is the final Angels player, with the Blackhawks' Rosie Williams completing the list. Team West are led by GB coach Miles Thompson. For For Team East, Charnel Barrett heads a strong Titans contingent, and she's also joined by plenty of Steelers, the first of which is Kayla Bell. The Blue Stars' Fiona Carey features for the first time in an All-Star game, with the Steelers' Leah Evans making her second appearance in a row for Team East. Lizzie Manvel-Pavlitsky is another Titan, and there's another Steeler in next in the form of Katie Morrow. Following her is the Titans' Pauline McDonald, while the Melton Stallions' Fran Ray is acting as player coach in this game. The Steelers duo Jessica Pilkington and Maddie Thompson are next, with the final Titans pair of Fee Tillman and Megan Wood completing the lineup. Team East are coached by Titans leader Anne Wild. The waiting then was finally over as it was time for the tip-off. Jessica Pilkington got the touch for Team East, but the West's Claire Griffiths was first to seize on the loose ball. The Vixens' captain was held up well by Pauline McDonald, but she managed to pick out the CWBA's Jude Hamer for the game's first chance of a score, but Hamer was uncharacteristically off target here. Team West came again a few moments later through Amy Conroy, who found last year's MVP Joy Hazelden. She then picked out her teammate Jude Hamer, and this time she made no mistake, giving Team West the first score of the game. Team East then got their offence going with Jessica Pilkington picking out her Steelers teammate Katie Morrow. The West weren't making anything easy, putting serious pressure on the shooter, but eventually after a couple of attempts, it was third time lucky as Fee Tillman swept up the rebound to get the East on the board. Joy Hazelden soon picked up the ball and took the attack straight back to the East. Her route to the basket was blocked by Leah Evans, but Hazelden managed to pick out Amy Conroy for her first score of the game. One suspected it wouldn't be her last. Claire Griffiths was soon looking to stretch the West's lead, and after a quick exchange of passes with Laurie Williams from a restart, Griffiths was quick to take a shot from deep on the right, and in it went to further boost the West's score. In Jessica Pilkington, though, the East had a player who will always fight for every last point, and the Sheffield Steeler picked up her first basket of the match with this pinpoint shot after the assist from Pauline McDonald. The West were soon back on the attack, but while they piled players forwards, they forgot to keep the gate closed behind them, and when the opposition has Leah Evans as a means of a counter-attack, that is never wise. The Sheffield Steeler racing away here to put up two more for Team East. The team ending the first quarter in the ascendancy was Team West, however, and again the team in white worked to restart brilliantly. This time Joy Hazelden combined perfectly with the Blackhawks' Rosie Williams, and the CWBA starlet doesn't often miss from there, as she ended the scoring in the first quarter. So, at the end of the first quarter of the All-Star Game 2016, it was Team West who held the lead courtesy of some stellar offence, and they were looking in a relaxed mood heading into the second, leading 14-11. The West came straight out of the blocks in the second quarter, and again it was Amy Conroy leading the charge, the Vixen star this time turning provider as she set up Rosie Williams for this nice score. Williams and Conroy were again back in the thick of the action just moments later. Laurie Williams couldn't get the drop on her layup, but Rosie Williams' presence alone caused issues in the East defence, and Conroy was once again on hand to put up another 2 points for Team West. The West had started the second quarter on fire, and it wasn't long until Conroy was turning provider for another score, feeding her Vixens captain Claire Griffiths for 2 more points. The East was struggling to deal with the power of the West's offence, and when Jude Hamer goes on a dribble like this, it isn't difficult to see why, as the CWBA star added 2 more to the total. Team East was starting to get to the point where they needed to do something special to get themselves back into the game. Well, how about this from Jessica Pilkington? Set up by Fran Ray, Pilkington was all net for 3, and it wouldn't quite be complete without the token reaction from coach Anne Wild. It takes a lot more than that to rattle Claire Griffiths though, and the West's number 6 continued her great game with this superb basket from a decent range. And not content with that, the 4-time Paralympian went even better a few moments later. Teed up by clubmate Leanna Adams, Griffiths made no mistake from even further out. It was turning into a dream quarter for Team West, and Jude Hamer continued the scoring here with this shot from the angle after being assisted by Charlotte Moore. The West ending the half well on top. At the half then, it is Team West who have raced away into a dominant lead. Despite a moment of magic from Team East, it is the West who are threatening to get away here after a sensational quarter as they lead 32-14. Team West were looking to pick up in the third quarter where they left off in the second, and Amy Conroy kicked off the second half of the match with a deadly free throw to put up more points for Team West. For Team East, it was all about the comeback attempt, and they were keen to start that as soon as possible. Katie Morrow picking out the Titans' Charnel Barrett for this nice score. The Conroy-Griffiths combination looked like it would strike again, but this time Jude Hamer got in on the act, on hand here to finish off another great Team West move. On the West's next attack, it was the same three players causing all the damage. Hamer wasn't on target this time, but Conroy was on hand for the rebound to continue stretching the West's lead. Team East once again looked to come back, and Katie Morrow added 2 more to her total by scoring both of her free throws after a Team West foul here. The team in white came straight back though, and the replacements were also doing great work. Rosie Williams here grabbing her second score of the game. Team East were doing their absolute utmost to keep in touch, and the final word of the quarter came from Jessica Pilkington as the East's leading scorer put up 2 more points at the end of the third. With just a quarter of the game remaining, despite the best efforts of the East, the West looked like they might be out of sight after another stunning quarter. 30 points clear heading into the fourth. Team West were on the home straight. Team West was straight back to it in the final quarter, and Claire Griffiths again turned provider, laying on this one for the Spitfires player Mo Hastings, who'd made a great break from deep to get herself on the board. Just a few moments later, and again Griffiths was the architect, this time picking out Amy Conroy, who did really well to get her shot away under great pressure from 2 East defenders. Conroy was soon leading the West charge again down the left, and perhaps it was an example of how everything was coming off for the team in white, as her pass came straight back to her to tee up Leanna Adams in the middle, and the Vixens player got her name on the board with this score, albeit in the second attempt. Conroy didn't wait long to get herself back on the score sheet after being teed up by Joy Hazelden's 7th assist of the match, Conroy notching her 23rd point of an outstanding game here. The East, meanwhile, was still alive as an attacking force, with Jessica Pilkington driving through the centre of the West defence to put up some last gasp points for Team East. That was the last scoring play of the game though, and in the end, as the hooter rang around the Nottingham Wildcats arena, it was Team West who had claimed the victory in the All-Star game for the second year in a row. After an even start, the West's offence in the end made the difference. The final score, Team East 39, Team West 71. So what a game, full time, and at the end it's Team West who have taken the victory. You can see them lined up behind us. They are pleased as punch. What a win.
What a win indeed. Brilliant game, enjoyed by everyone. Now it's time to talk to the MVP.
Okay, so Claire, congratulations, the MVP in that game. That wasn't a bad match, was it?
No, it wasn't. I was really pleased with that game as a team, and it's nice when you put out a personal performance, and even bigger bonus when other people think you've done that and made an impact.
And that award means a special bit to you as well, as you also knew Josie Schkowski.
Yeah, I knew Josie for a very long time. She was my roommate at my first ever competition at the World Championships in '98 in Sydney, and she had such a big impact on this sport. She's the reason we have a women's league, yeah, what else can I say about Josie? She was such a good person for this sport.
Yeah, I can tell it means a lot to you winning that award. How much has it meant to you playing in this All-Star game? Obviously, Josie had such an impact. Things like this wouldn't have happened without her, but it must be so special to see how far it's come.
It's a delight to see that we now have an All-Star game, that we're starting to recognise women's basketball, that so many more women play. We got a crowd here watching. We embrace and enjoy the fact that we're becoming a stronger basketball nation. And that more people are playing as well, so those things go hand in hand for me, which is what I'm passionate about sport. I want to see success at the highest level, but I also want to see people loving playing for fun.
And they've certainly done that today. Congratulations once again, Claire.
Thanks very much.
So that'll just about do us then here at the Wildcats Arena. Congratulations to Team West and to Claire Griffiths, the MVP. And as you can see behind us, the clear up has begun. The celebrations, the confetti, it's all happened, and it's time to end the show. But what a way to finish the All-Star game.
What a way indeed, Stephen. It's been a great weekend, brilliant spectacle. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
We certainly have, and this capacity crowd has certainly enjoyed it as well. Make sure you check out the British Wheelchair Basketball YouTube channel. That's where you'll see this video as well as the conclusion to the Women's League that happened this weekend, and that is not to be missed.
But from me and Jude, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.